People will say that you're being too generous in your praise. But I think if the government borrowing is down in terms of projection, it indicates something. So you have a reduction of government borrowing from, you have a generosity of capex and you have aggression on fiscal. These 3 points of the triangle never meet. They're not meant to meet.
I think they genuinely believe they've crossed the tipping point, and now the economy is going to gather momentum. And at the end of the day, Narendra Modi always believes in setting very ambitious targets. He thinks
I think PM is speaking right now. I was just told the PM is speaking.
इस बजट में कंटिन्यूटी का कॉन्फिडेंस है। ये बजट विकसित भारत के 4 स्तंभ युवा, गरीब, महिला और किसान सभी को एम्पावर करेगा। निर्मला जी का ये बजट देश के भविष्य के निर्माण का बजट है। इस बजट में 2047 के विकसित भारत की नींव को मजबूत करने की गारंटी है। मैं निर्मला जी और उनकी टीम को बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं। साथियों, इस बजट में युवा भारत की युवा आकांक्षाओं का, भारत की यंग एस्पिरेशंस का प्रतिबिंब है। बजट में 2 महत्वपूर्ण निर्णय लिए गए हैं। रिसर्च और इनोवेशन पर 1 लाख करोड़ रुपए का फंड बनाने की घोषणा की गई है। बजट में स्टार्टअप्स को मिलने वाली टैक्स छूट के विस्तार का भी ऐलान किया गया है। साथियों, इस बजट में फिस्कल डेफिसिट को नियंत्रण में रखते हुए कैपिटल एक्सपेंडिचर को 11,11,111 करोड़ रुपए की ऐतिहासिक ऊंचाई दी गई है। अर्थशास्त्रियों की भाषा में कहें तो एक प्रकार से स्वीट स्पॉट है। इससे भारत में 21वीं सदी के आधुनिक इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के निर्माण के साथ ही युवाओं के लिए अनगिनत रोजगार के नए अवसर तैयार होंगे। बजट में वंदे भारत स्टैंडर्ड की 40,000 आधुनिक बोगियां बनाकर उन्हें सामान्य यात्री ट्रेनों में लगाने का ऐलान किया गया है। इससे देश के अलग अलग रेल रूट पर करोड़ों यात्रियों में आरामदायक यात्रा का अनुभव बढ़ेगा। साथियों, हम एक बड़ा लक्ष्य तय करते हैं, उसे प्राप्त करते हैं और फिर उससे भी बड़ा लक्ष्य अपने लिए तय करते हैं। गरीबों के लिए हमने गांवों और शहरों में 4 करोड़ से अधिक घर बनाए। अब हमने 2 करोड़ और नए घर बनाने का लक्ष्य रखा है। हमने 2 करोड़ महिलाओं को लखपति दीदी बनाने का लक्ष्य रखा था। अब इस लक्ष्य को बढ़ाकर 3 करोड़ लखपति दीदी बनाने का कर दिया गया है। आयुष्मान भारत योजना ने गरीबों की बहुत मदद की है। अब आंगनवाड़ी और आशा वर्कर, उन सबको इस योजना का लाभ मिलेगा। साथियों, इस बजट में गरीब और मध्यम वर्ग को एम्पावर करने, उनके लिए आय के नए अवसर बनाने पर भी बहुत जोर दिया गया है। रूफटॉप सोलर अभियान में 1 करोड़ परिवारों को सोलर रूफटॉप के माध्यम से मुफ्त बिजली प्राप्त होगी। इतना ही नहीं, सरकार को अतिरिक्त बिजली बेचकर लोगों को 15 से 20 हजार प्रतिवर्ष की आय भी होगी और ये हर परिवार को होगी। साथियों, आज जिस इनकम टैक्स रेमिशन स्कीम की घोषणा की गई है, उससे मध्यम वर्ग के करीब 1 करोड़ लोगों को बड़ी राहत मिलेगी। पिछली सरकारों ने सामान्य मानवी के सिर पर दशकों से ये बहुत बड़ी तलवार लटका कर रखी थी। आज इस बजट में किसानों के लिए भी बहुत महत्वपूर्ण और बड़े निर्णय लिए गए हैं। नैनो डीएपी का उपयोग हो, पशुओं के लिए नई योजना हो, पीएम मत्स्य संपदा योजना का विस्तार हो और आत्मनिर्भर ऑयल सीड अभियान हो। इससे किसानों की आय बढ़ेगी और खर्च कम होगा। मैं एक बार फिर सभी देशवासियों को इस ऐतिहासिक बजट के लिए शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Okay, Prime Minister giving his reaction out there to the budget. A quick word from you. You closely observe things. I really love the way in which you put things in a larger perspective, particularly from the point of view of both politics, governance and business. That's where your experience in the private sector also comes in. But I think the Prime Minister knows that he's being able to take development to the last mile. And I think that gives him the confidence right now, to go ahead and tell the Finance Minister, do what you need to in terms of the economy. Leave the political aspect out of this.
See, Narendra Modi's success, political success, has also come from the last mile delivery.
Yes.
Where, earlier the same old story about 15% reaching the people, instead of 15%, if today, let's say it's not 100%, but even 60, 70, 80% is reaching, that's making a difference.
Yeah.
And ordinary people are realizing that.
Yeah.
And then similarly, this whole business, people are not realizing the shifting the needle towards the women.
Yeah.
It's a huge social impact as well in the rural areas, because it changes the power balance of power, the equation in the thing, and that is what I think people realize.
Yeah.
So while it's true there is inflation, where it's true this, but why there is this confidence in the Modi government? Because they see that they, and Arnab, the other point I'll make, what you're talking about, the July announcement, I think that also instills confidence in the business community.
Of course it does.
Business community realizes that continuity
the business community realizes the country is stable. That's a big deal. The business community knows numbers, lives and breathes numbers. And I think everybody in the world of business knows that, when you have money to spend and your borrowing is down, your debt is low, your EBITDA is better.
And they're wary of, whatever opposition is making noise, that if, assuming the remote possibility of its coming into power, with all those fiscal, thing, how the economy will get derailed.
I think the big fear is that if they were to come to power, everything's going to be lost in terms of continuity. That's not going to happen. Viewers, I'll take a very short break, and I think it's very, very necessary at this point of time to look at what's happening in Jharkhand. I think we've all been doing a stellar job looking at the budget situation, but I really, as a political journalist, am very, very keen to look at Jharkhand. So we'll go to Jharkhand right after the break to see what's happening there and whether the BJP is making the pincer-like moves there as well.
सारे मिनिस्टर्स को रिक्वेस्ट डालो, ठीक है? अश्विनी वैष्णव, अनुराग ठाकुर, पता करो गेस्ट टीम से कौन कौन से दूसरे चैनल की गेस्ट हैं।
हाँ मैं ऑडियो दे रहा हूँ, अब दो अभी अभी मुझे एमसीआर का पीजीएम ऑडियो मिल रहा है, एमसीआर पीजीएम।
This is an interim budget, as you know, and this is certainly our Honorable Finance Minister has done an excellent job in summarizing what has happened and how India has transformed in the last 10 years. From a fragile 5 economy that was a situation in 2014, we are today the top 5 economies of the world. We are the fastest growing economy in the fastest growing major economy in the world. And it is clear today that India is on a launch pad to become a developed nation in our lifetime. So this has been an excellent summary, the interim budget, of what the qualitative and quantitative transformation of the Indian economy has gone through in the last 10 years.
But the opposition criticized this particular budget.
No, the opposition will obviously criticize it. What else can they do? They certainly can't admire our performance. The opposition's job is to criticize, and they'll continue to criticize even when they lose the next election. Sir,
आराम से गए। Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I can hear you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
And right now, breaking news coming in straight away from Jharkhand, and it's a big one. We are being told that 13 sitting MLAs of the JMM, I repeat, 13 sitting MLAs of the JMM are not going to Hyderabad. They are incommunicado. Out of 48 MLAs of the JMM, 35 are only 35 seats are booked out of Ranchi to Hyderabad. Only 35 hotel rooms have been booked in Hyderabad. 13 MLAs are not only going, they are incommunicado, I repeat. Out of 48 MLAs of the end of the India Alliance, which are supposedly supporting Hemant Soren's government and now Champai Soren as the Chief Minister, 13 MLAs have gone incommunicado. They are not going to Hyderabad, out of which 7 are of JMM. So the present strength of JMM is at 29, which brings the reduced strength to 22. The Congress strength right now is 17, which brings down the Congress's strength to 11. So in total, 13 MLAs between JMM and Congress are incommunicado. They are not going to Hyderabad. They are not happy with Hemant Soren's decision of making Champai Soren as the Chief Minister. And while this is happening, the BJP's National General Secretary Organization, BL Santosh, has arrived in Ranchi. He is holding a meeting of all 26 BJP MLAs. NDA in Jharkhand has 31 in total. And all those 31 are present, and in these 13 JMM and Congress MLAs combined being absent, what sources are telling us that there are 18 more MLAs. So it's a Maharashtra kind of a situation erupting in Jharkhand as well, with JMM MLAs not being happy with Hemant Soren's last minute decision of choosing Champai Soren. But what is confirmed is that 13 MLAs are not going to Hyderabad, which include 7 MLAs of the JMM and 6 MLAs of the Congress, which brings down JMM's strength to 22 and Congress's strength to 11. And that's why you see BJP Member of Parliament Nishikant Dubey coming out in the open and talking on camera, on record.
Viewers, if going by the inputs that Aishwarya is sharing with you, want to tell you, viewers, that there are 80 MLAs, the 80 MLAs in the Jharkhand Assembly. And Champai Soren, Prakash Singh also joining us. Champai Soren, who claims to have the support of 41 MLAs, wafer thin, just over the halfway mark. Now, Champai Soren, family loyalist, been since with the JMM since Shibu Soren launched the party. Currently, he is the transport minister out there, and it will be seen. It is yet to be seen whether this move works. For all you know, Prakash, can you hear me? This could boomerang, because if the numbers are going down, if he's saying 10 to 15 to 18 MLAs of the JMM are missing, that means they go straight into a minority, right? The question then happens, what happens to who forms the government? What are the numbers there? Who forms the government? Prakash, can you hear me? Prakash, can you hear me? Prakash, who looks at politics in Bihar and Jharkhand very closely. Prakash, can you hear me? Prakash, now tell me, where are these missing MLAs?
Yes. Well, there are 81 member house, and one MLA has resigned, so it is total 80. And Champai Soren yesterday, apparently we are told that he had submitted the letter of support of 45 MLAs, but as of now, as Aishwarya is saying, that 13 MLAs have gone missing. But these sides are claiming, Champai Soren and JMM leadership is claiming that they have the support, and they wanted the swearing in to be done as soon as possible. And since today morning, there have been political speculation that a chartered flight is being brought in from Hyderabad. And as of now, when I speak, close to the BJP headquarters in Ranchi, 3 tempo travelers buses have entered inside the state guest house, and apparently there is a plan B take all the MLAs to Hyderabad, maybe possible, maybe to another destination. They are keeping all these a very secret affair. But these JMM MLAs, JMM has 29 MLAs as of now. One MLA had resigned. Total strength was 13. The Congress had 18. It brings to 48. CPI, RJD, and one more MLA brings down the number to 50 in support. But there was some resentment within the party and the Congress party, as well as Sita Soren, who is a JMM MLA. Apparently, she's not very happy with the state of affairs that is being run by Hemant Soren. So, Jharkhand governor apparently mulling over the factor that whether or not to get the swearing-in ceremony done or not. So that is why he's taking time. The BJP is also keeping a close watch on all the political developments in the state of Jharkhand, and in a small state like Jharkhand, few MLAs here and there, you can topple the government very easily. So the BJP keeping a close eye on all the developments, and Aishwarya has been mentioning that 13 MLAs have gone missing, but the JMM MLAs are claiming that they have the support of all the MLAs. We are keeping a close eye on the political developments here in the Jharkhand Assembly.
Okay, so we're very clearly keeping a close watch on that. It's as good as gone. What happens is that eventually, Sandeep, we're looking at the situation in Jharkhand. I mean, obviously, beyond a point of time, it's like it's like a fast-spreading disease. You can't handle it once the main leader is arrested. Till some point of time, he will be seen to be in charge. There'll be a sense of fear. But that goes away after a point of time. And the BJP is tantalizingly strong out here and closing in on the halfway mark. Would they have made all these moves without having planned the next step they will take?
I don't think they would have made this sort of a move so close before the Lok Sabha elections, and just shows what happened in Bihar. I don't think everybody was so confident that the things will swing that way. And now Jharkhand. And I think there is every reason for Kejriwal to feel nervous that whether the next field of action would be Delhi. But what I'm not clear is why BJP has to do this kind of surgical strikes, being otherwise in such a good place before the Lok Sabha.
So you think this will affect them negatively before the Lok Sabha?
No, I don't think it will affect them. But optics-wise, I'm not too sure whether when there is some kind of a negativism being spread at a certain level about BJP's predatory tactics, and they want to really quash opposition, whether it really helps them, and do they really need to do that? That's my personal reservation, you might say, or.
Okay. Sandeep, Aishwarya is adding in on that. Aishwarya, current status, latest breaking news on this. Can you give me the current status out there?
No, I was just saying, Arnab, when you have a sitting chief minister of a state, no, the present status is very clear. There are 13 MLAs who have not boarded the flight from Ranchi, and simultaneously the BJP National General Secretary Organization BL Santosh has arrived there. All 31 MLAs of the NDA are present. They are present in that meeting. 13 MLAs, out of which 7 are of the JMM, which brings down JMM's strength from 29 to 22, and Congress's strength down by 6, which is from 17. Only 11 MLAs have boarded that flight. So 13 MLAs have not only gone incommunicado because of Hemant Soren's last-minute decision of choosing Champai Soren. There are 14 more MLAs of the JMM itself. That means 22 out of 22, 14, which makes it 2/3. So JMM is out for a right of breaking of a party right in the middle, and that is what we are being told. But confirmation is only of 13 MLAs not going. Rest are going to Hyderabad, but they are in touch with BJP MPs. Also, that is why you have a BJP MP coming on record and saying that the present Champai Soren government is in minority. Back to you, Arnab.
Okay, thank you very much. Taking a short break, thanking Sandeep at this point. I'll be back a little while later.
Thank you.
in the output group. यही तो है same. Sorry. I'll just send it to you. आप बताइए ना मुझे. Which group? Input desk. डाल दो. There, man. यार लापता गलत शब्द है चंपा सोरेन के समर्थन में नहीं है संपर्क नहीं उठी है मैं उठी है
So welcome to the budget coverage with Republic, and I would believe, as everybody else has been noting immediately after the Finance Minister's budget presentation, that this budget clearly speaks of India's financial resilience. What is your opinion about the budget outlay this year, sir?
Well, I think that this is a budget embedded in confidence and in trust. In terms of adhering to the commitments which were given, in terms of not allowing the ensuing elections in the coming few months, to induce the government into taking populist measures which would have jeopardized India's macroeconomic stability and which would have really led to growth trends being diminished in the long run. Instead, on the path of fiscal consolidation, the budget has overperformed in terms of the commitments which it had made. It was committed to only giving 5.9% this year, instead it has given 5.8%, and it has made a daunting commitment for a 0.7% fiscal consolidation. So I think that on the path of macroeconomic stability, the continued trust and the confidence of the investor community, of the rating agencies and others, augurs well for a long-term growth story. India is perhaps the only country which is for the fourth year will have over 7% rate of growth. The Reserve Bank of India has projected that in the coming financial year also we will touch 7%. We have done some figure of around this over the last 3 years. So I think that all this embeds along with deep structural reforms. Third, I think that the emphasis on capex expenditure, on capital creating assets, in which states have also been a major beneficiary, augurs well for growth multipliers and for gainful employment to be created. Fourth, I think in terms of harnessing the agriculture in a creative way, the new policies which are designed to really benefit the farmers by newer forms of the use of the fertilizers is going to be a story which is good from the viewpoint of environment and enhancing farm incomes. I think that in terms of finally on the issues of climate change, I think that the emphasis on renewable energy, for example, the fact that rooftop solar has been given such a boost in terms of the announcements which were made today, is India's continued commitment and adherence to the international commitments on moving towards renewable forms of energy and reducing the energy intensity of our economic activity. And I think that the issue of giving rooftops has another good aspect to it, namely it would induce the state government to reform the power distribution companies which has languished for a very, very long time. So I think that if you sum up, this is a budget which reinforces confidence. It comes in the backdrop of continued political stability. It continues in the backdrop of revenues doing exceedingly well, and it continues in the backdrop of the renewed confidence which the world has on large FDI flows which are likely to continue, the cost of borrowing remaining in tolerable levels, inflation being managed very well, and augurs very well for India becoming a Viksit Bharat as committed by the Prime Minister and reiterated several times, among others, by the Finance Minister today.
Mr. Singh, you mentioned an eternal dream of the Indian economy that the states would be able to take care of their electricity boards. But I want to discuss that. Recently there was an attempt made to create a controversy around the Finance Commission award of the 14th Finance Commission, I believe. Since you have had the experience of the 15th Finance Commission, and yesterday we had a release from the government saying that the overall devolution to the states has increased by 1,37,000 crore rupees this fiscal. So vis-a-vis the last year. What the situation looks like, looking at the numbers today, vis-a-vis the center sharing its revenues with the states?
Let me put it this way to you. Never has the central government resigned from the commitments which it has made in terms of implementing the awards of the Finance Commission. The 14th Finance Commission had given an award of 42% to the states, an award which we respected in the recommendations which he made in the 15th Finance Commission, and the central government accepted that figure of 41%, which 1% we calibrated on account of one of the states becoming a union territories. And I think that there is no issue on any of the moves of the central government not adhering to the commitments which it has made in fully implementing the Finance Commission's recommendation. The controversy is of a different kind. The controversy is whether, in terms of cess and surcharge, should become part of the divisible pool or not. This is not an aspect which concerns the Finance Commission. This is an aspect which concerns the Constitution. When the pool of the divisible pool was enlarged, at the last time when it was done in the year 2000, there was a constitutional amendment which kept cess and surcharge outside the divisible pool, and it was nothing extraordinary that this could not have been included either by the 14th or by the 15th Finance Commission. Now that the 16th Finance Commission has commenced its work, I think that they have challenges in terms of addressing the terms of reference which have been given to them. And looking at the tradition on the post-independence India, all finance commissions have acted with diligence, with honesty, with integrity of purpose, and there is every reason to believe that this tradition would continue in the future.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. N.K. Singh, for that perspective. I hope it clears some webs in the minds of those who thought that there was something amiss in the financial award of the Finance Commission, both 14th and 15th. On that note, we move on and back to the conversation we were having in the studios. Joining us, Abhishek Sudhir also. And Abhishek Sudhir, can you find some, what according to you is amiss in the budget? Because everyone else seems to be very happy and confident that this is a budget which is going to keep India going in the direction that it is going with a lot of confidence.
Well, I think the finance minister, there was a very telling statement the finance minister made. She said that 80 crore people are beneficiaries of the Pradhan Mantri what do you call it, the ration scheme, right? The PMGKAY, basically, the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, right? Yeah. So you have 80 crore people on ration. So that the question that begs is this truly an Amrit Kal? Because you have more than 60% of the population on free rations, right? You had something called an issue price under the Food Security Act, where you were paying ₹3 for rice and ₹2 for wheat per kg. Issue price has also been done away with. I think you have a 5-year extension now of the scheme. So you have more than 60% of the population on free rations, right? So obviously there's not going to be much social unrest or protests because essentially everyone's belly is full. So really the bogey is, for me, job creation. Is this budget, I mean, it's an interim budget, so really you can't subject it to the full critique, that you would to a full budget. It's an interim budget. But at the end of the day, people are not hungry, but that doesn't necessarily mean people are productive. Right? That's the big difference. So we are going to be an aging country in about 25, 30 years, right? The Amrit Kal, the so-called Amrit Kal, when 100 years of independence, you're going to have a huge population that will need to be taken care of. You have the old pension scheme, the new pension scheme, the conflict between those two things.
Congress wants old pension scheme.
True. And I agree with you. Obviously, look, I don't have to fight an election. If you ask me today, right, if the PMGKAY was not extended, that would be a massive...
So then clarify that the opposition is creating a mess, the government is mopping it up.
No, I'm telling you, it's like reservations or rations. These are two things you can never do away with. You do away with rations today, Abhishek, 2024 is not a done deal. Even now, if they do away with it, 2024 is not a done deal. The free ration scheme is what is keeping the social unrest and the political protests and everything else at bay. That is what is allowing the ruling dispensation to get away with a lot. You do away with the rations. I mean, what does the middle class have in this budget? No change in the tax scheme. Middle class gets nothing. Wait
for July.
We'll see. See, most consumer spending is driven by 10% of the urban population.
Let me get these classic conservative economists on this. State welfareism, in which you are giving food to the poor, versus the freebie culture, where political party or parties promise old pension scheme to the people who already have pensions, who already have state protection, who already have steady incomes, who already have DA, TA, etc., right? LTC, whatnot. So, and then you have governments promising free electricity to the people who can pay in a city state like Delhi, which is the richest state of the country per capita income wise. So I think we have to differentiate between state welfareism, where the poor actually need ration and they should be given because they are part of the country and society, vis-a-vis the freebies to buy votes? Mr. Basu first and then Mr. Kishore.
The important thing to understand is, first of all, that the free ration scheme has only been implemented because the government can afford it. You know, the glide path of fiscal consolidation continues. The fiscal deficit is going to be lower this year than originally budgeted, and that is only the official forecast. The actual number will actually be much lower even than this revised estimate.
Unlike
first of all, okay, let me finish before, okay.
Yeah.
So, now, the thing is that it is, of course, becoming almost an entitlement. Once you give free rations for 5 years to 813 million people, it almost becomes an entitlement.
You can't take away.
It is almost.
So it's a trap for the government also.
But you can say that it's a form of basic income. It ensures that every last person in this country lives a civilized life, does not have to worry about food. Food in the stomach is taken care of. In fact, my mother told me that her Muslim newspaper wala was full of praise. He said, I'm full, I'm good. In Bengal, in Bengali he said, "Ami bhot debo, oi Modi ke debo." You see, now the point is that this is
scaring Mamata Didi.
So this is what is going on, because the point is that not just free food. Apart from that, LPG to every citizen, almost every citizen has it. Toilets to everybody. You know, bank accounts for the 60% of the population that had no access to bank accounts. So these are things that are transformative, and then you're directly transferring benefits to each individual. Plus you have something like this Vishwakarma program. I love it. PM Vishwakarma.
Kishore, quick. I'm sorry, I'm running out of time. That's why. Kishore, quickly, state welfareism versus freebie culture. Quick, and then I get.
I've spoken about freebies in your channel and many times. Let me tell you the difference between the earlier government and this government is that earlier governments did freebie for vote and they only did freebie. That's a huge difference. When you have fiscal prudence, when you have economic development, when you are clear that your capex is increasing, when you have lower borrowing, and then you do welfare, that's true welfare. And these are not announced before election to be.
Okay, fair enough.
One of the credo of fiscal conservatism is the government can never afford it. Right? So when you say the government can afford it, I mean, I don't know. I question that logic. Look, this is a revdi. Free rations is revdi. Free rations. Listen to me. Look, my Abhishek.
Abhishek, you can't stick between Chicago school, Chicago
my point
school
is this.
and socialism of Samajwadi Party. You can't have that kind of pendulum swinging.
See, I'm independent. I'm independent. I'm simply saying, you asked me about the budget. I'm here in my capacity as a citizen. I'm saying, why don't you charge an issue price? Charge ₹3 per kilo of rice or ₹2 per kilo of wheat. You're not even
tell this to the Samajwadi Party, but unfortunately, I have run out of this time. I've run out of time. This part of the coverage of the budget. Of course, we continue all through the day on the political messaging that's come out of the interim budget, which was presented by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman in the Parliament. And of course, rest of the news and coverage continues on the other side of a short break. Thank you so much, friends, for joining us.
breaking news updates, and I am Nikita Sahai.
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studio, your one stop for all the breaking updates. I am
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studio, your one stop for all the breaking news updates, and I am Nikita Sahai.
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studio, your one stop for all the breaking updates. I am Rakshita Mishra.
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studio, your one stop for all the breaking news updates, and I am Nikita Sahai.
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studio, your one stop for all the breaking updates. I am Rakshita Mishra.
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studios, your one-stop destination for all the breaking news updates, and I am Shivangi Shukla. This is Republic Niva Bupa Studios, your one-stop destination for all the breaking news updates, and I am Shivangi Shukla.
welcome to Budget with Republic. And it's a big day, as the Prime Minister says, it's a historic budget. How is the industry, how is India Inc. responding to this budget, sir?
Good afternoon. I think
Am I audible?
a very strong and confident state. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You're audible, sir.
So I think it was very strong and sorry, I don't know if you're live.
So you are audible to me. You can continue. Yeah. So you're audible to me.
Okay. Sure. So it was a very strong and confident statement by the Finance Minister, who delved into the accomplishments of the government over the past decade or so, while charting out a course for the future. And I think the clear articulation about the focus areas, which is the women, the poor, the youth and farmers, and how one can contribute to capability building and empowering them to contribute to Viksit Bharat, I think was very, very clearly articulated, as I said. And in this context, I think the action seems to be shifting now to the states, with the centre looking to incentivize the states through a 75,000 crore outlay for reforms linked, milestone linked reforms. So what is very obvious is that it is the pursuit of sustainable and inclusive growth, which I think this country needs. On the sustainability front, measures like viability gap funding for the offshore wind of about 1 gigawatts, as well as a focus on the EV ecosystem, including charging infrastructure, etc., as well as e-buses for public transport, of course the rooftop solar. So all of these are important steps which contribute to green growth. But I think a couple of points which stand out in my opinion. One is the 1 lakh crore outlay for R&D fund, and that too through 50-year interest-free loans. I think that will provide a much needed boost to innovation in this country, something that industry has been highlighting and pushing for. And most importantly, from an economy perspective, I think the commitment to fiscal prudence while pursuing inclusive and sustainable growth is what stands out. So in that context, a 5.8% fiscal deficit for the current year, which is slightly better than what was projected, and a commitment to bring it down sharply to 5.1% in FY25, I think deserves to be commended, because while providing support to those at the bottom of the pyramid who need it the most, the government under Minister Modi's leadership and ably executed by the Honorable Finance Minister is pursuing a very fiscally prudent approach to growth.
That's right, sir. And also, if we can comment on this, so the Finance Minister has been showing a steady and bold move towards increasing capex over the years. So which means that there is determination for industrial expansion, for manufacturing industry, for generating employment through manufacturing. So I think that the vision is clearly long-term, and the vision is clearly towards making the entire economic ecology, bloom over a certain period of time, for a lack of better word. But is that assessment correct, that a steady but a significant increase in capex will ultimately expand the base of the economy over the next decade?
Absolutely. In fact, this is another area where I would like to commend the government, for the long-term vision, as you very correctly put it, and the focus on infrastructure of all types, which is physical, digital, as well as social. I think which connects and empowers people has been something which is noteworthy. In the last budget, there was a 33% increase to a record 10 lakh crores, and that was the government doing heavy lifting and providing support to the economy when it needed it the most. And again, as you correctly said, I think investment in infrastructure is something which has a multiplier effect and is far more impactful in the medium to long term than any other support measures to the economy. And now they have gone one step ahead and increased it further by 11.1% to a record 11.11 lakh crores, which will continue to provide momentum, growth momentum to the Indian economy. But at the same time, the finance minister in her speech acknowledged that private sector is now stepping up to the plate, and bolstered, I think, by buoyant tax revenues, the projection of lower borrowings will give scope, as she mentioned, for the private sector to fund its own investment plans. So while the government has done a commendable job of doing the heavy lifting and is continuing to focus on long-term measures to impart growth momentum, there is headroom being given to the private sector to step up to the plate and do its own part in taking the country forward towards being a developed economy by 2047. I think the medium to long-term implications are very clear, and the growth potential that the economy has overall is very significant. We talk about a $5 trillion economy, but that is only an interim milestone to be achieved in the next couple of years. And I think, obviously the growth potential of India is significant, and we will, occupy the spot of being the third largest economy sooner rather than later.
Right, the vision is set and we are in the right direction. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us.
My pleasure.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, mass comm, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studio, your one-stop for all the breaking news updates, and I am Nikita Sahai.
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studio, your one-stop for all the breaking updates. I am Rakshita Mishra. This is Republic Niva Bupa Studio, your one-stop for all the breaking news updates, and I am Nikita Sahai. This is Republic Niva Bupa Studio, your one-stop for all the breaking updates. I am Rakshita Mishra.
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studios, your one-stop destination for all the breaking news updates, and I am Shivangi Shukla.
the type of things which have been done for different sections of the society, be it the rural economy, be it, say, Ayushman Bharat expansion, the focus on women. These are all very, very critical areas which one sees very prudent budget, if I can say, very prudent, and a budget for which lays down the foundation for a very strong growth pathway.
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studios, your one-stop destination for all the breaking news updates, and I am Shivangi Shukla.
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studio, your one-stop for all the breaking news updates, and I am Nikita Sahai.
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studio, your one-stop for all the breaking updates. I am Rakshita Mishra.
Amity has been ranked India's #1 not-for-profit private university for 11th year, with top 10 ranked institutions in management, engineering, biotech, law, masscom, telecom, hospitality, fashion and more. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studio, your one-stop for all the breaking news updates, and I am Nikita Sahai.
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studio, your one-stop for all the breaking updates. I am Rakshita Mishra.
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studios, your one-stop destination for all the breaking news updates, and I am Shivangi Shukla.
Well, big political development here in Jharkhand. Hemant Soren being brought to the ED, the PMLA court here in Ranchi. And the ED authorities are bringing Hemant Soren to produce him in the PMLA court here in Ranchi Civil Court in the premises. We are all waiting here. Now the political development unfolding here. Jharkhand, former Jharkhand CM Hemant Soren will be produced in the court. We'll have to wait and watch what kind of judgment does the court gives, whether he's given a 14-day judicial custody or custody to the ED. Now, there is some action here. I'll ask my camera person to pan. Maybe Hemant Soren's cavalcade is on the way. Now, there is a constitutional crisis here in Jharkhand ever since since Hemant Soren has resigned from the post of the chief minister. He tendered his resignation yesterday, late evening. He had gone to the governor house in an ED vehicle, submitted his resignation, and also informed the governor that Champai Soren is the new leader of the Legislative Assembly. They have submitted a letter of support of 45 MLAs despite the request of the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha new leader Champai Soren that if the governor desires, he is willing to parade all the MLAs, but the governor told him that there is no need to parade the MLAs. Now, I was speaking to Saryu Rai, one of the senior most MLA here in Jharkhand. He says that there is a constitutional crisis in Jharkhand. One, because of the fact that since Jharkhand Chief Minister has resigned and there is no government here, so without the Jharkhand is running without any government, either President rules should have been imposed or the swearing-in ceremony of Champai Soren should have been done here in the state of Jharkhand. So all kinds of questions being raised against the governor of Jharkhand here in Ranchi. So opposition alleging that it is tantamount to horse trading here in Jharkhand because when the letter of support has been issued, submitted to the governor of Jharkhand, why is he not asking the JMM leader to be sworn in as a chief minister, despite the fact that on the other hand, the BJP has 30 MLAs and they have not a stake claim to form the government. So these are two sides, the BJP and the JMM. The JMM submitting the letter of support is taking claim to form the government. The BJP has not submitted or staked claim to form the government. So it's a sort of a constitutional crisis here because in the meantime, Saryu Rai, the BJP, former BJP leader and independent MLA from Jamshedpur, raising the issue that the governor should have asked Champai Soren to be sworn in, or either from the opposing sides anybody should have a stake claim. So now there is political speculation that BJP is keeping a close watch on the developments here in Jharkhand political arena with the few MLAs likely to break away. Sita Soren is not happy. Few MLAs are in their constituency and there is political speculation. But JMM leaders say that they are comfortable. All the MLAs are solidly behind the party, and in this hour of crisis, they are solidly standing behind Hemant Soren and Shibu Soren. While I was speaking to Sita Soren over telephone, she also claimed that she is with the family. She is out in Delhi for some personal medical work. But every family has their own disputes. But I am standing with my family in this moment of crisis when Hemant Soren has been arrested by the ED. So anytime soon, Hemant Soren would be produced in the PMLA court here in the Jharkhand Civil Court premises, and he will be produced on the charges of corruption pertaining to the land scam, in which there are allegations that at the behest of the CM Hemant Soren and at the behest of his office, he influenced the then DC Chavi Ranjan, who is already in custody. A portion of land was registered in the name of a private owner, and thereafter there were some fake documents also recovered by the ED during the course of the raid in the registry office, and there are certain confessional statement. And yesterday, during the long 7 hours of interrogation with Hemant Soren, ED had ample proof and substantiated the evidence with corroborative evidence that they have enough evidence to arrest Hemant Soren. And thereafter, the ED took the former CM in the car to the governor house, and he resigned later in the evening submitted his resignation to the governor, Mr. Radhakrishnan, in the governor house in the presence of Champai Soren, informing the governor that Champai Soren is the new leader of the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha with 29 MLAs. One MLA has already vacated the seat. It was speculated that Kalpana Soren, the wife of Hemant Soren, would be appointed as the chief minister of Jharkhand. But later, after the arrest, Hemant Soren made up his mind and declared Champai Soren as the leader of the JMM and submitting a letter of support of 29 JMM MLAs, 18 Congress MLAs and CPI and RJD MLAs. So total 45 MLAs letter of support have been submitted. Questions being raised. Now there is movement in the PMLA court here. Maybe the cavalcade of Hemant Soren is arriving anytime soon here. There you see the vehicles escorting the police vehicles escorting the ED officials who are along with Hemant Soren. Produced in the court, PMLA court here, and there you see he's been escorted by this vehicle of policemen. Heavy security arrangement being made in this civil court premises of the PMLA court of Ranchi, where Hemant Soren is likely to be produced in the PMLA court on charges of his involvement in the land scam in which he was arrested yesterday by the Enforcement Directorate officials with ample proof when they had shown and they had told the former chief minister that you are arrested, and thereafter he was given time to resign. And thereafter he went to the governor house and tendered his resignation from in the governor house in the presence of Champai Soren, the newly elected leader of the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha legislature party. There you see supporters of Hemant Soren also gathered here in large numbers. Hemant Soren, you can see, waving to the crowd, waving to his supporters. He's being taken inside the civil court premises here in the PMLA court. He'll be produced in the PMLA court and thereafter he'll be produced before the PMLA court judge, and thereafter a decision would be given and the ED would be producing him with substantial evidence, and all the evidence would be produced before the court. So waving to the crowd, and in some moments from now we expect that a judgment would be given pertaining to his production and custodial interrogation or judicial custody. It is most likely that the ED would demand for ED custody for some time. Back to you. तो हेमंत सोरेन को अब यहाँ पर पीएमएलए कोर्ट में प्रोड्यूस करने के लिए लाया गया है। हम लोगों ने तस्वीर दिखाया कि कैसे तस्वीरों में वो हाथ हिलाते हुए अभिवादन करते हुए अपने समर्थकों का अंदर गए, और उसके बाद अब देखना ये है कि उसको कोर्ट क्या फैसला सुनाती है, क्योंकि ईडी संभवतः अपने कस्टडी के लिए प्रे करेगी और ताकि और भी बिंदुओं पर जांच की जा सके, पूछताछ हो सके, क्योंकि केवल हेमंत सोरेन जो हैं लैंड स्कैम में ही नहीं अभियुक्त हैं, और भी अन्य मामले हैं जो माइनिंग स्कैम है। और पिछले कई बार से ये देखा जा रहा था कि हेमंत सोरेन ईडी के समन्स को डिफाई कर रहे थे, अवहेलना कर रहे थे, और वो ईडी के समक्ष पेश नहीं हो रहे थे। और ये पिछले 1.5-2 साल से ये मामला चला आ रहा था। ईडी ने दबिश बनाई थी दिल्ली में उनके आवास पर भी, और तब भी वो फरार हो गए। वो कलकत्ता होते हुए रूट से रांची पहुंच गए और विधायकों के साथ बैठक की, और बैठक में चंपई सोरेन को नेता नियुक्त किया। अब एक तरीके से झारखंड में राजनीतिक अस्थिरता की स्थिति बन गई है। सवाल ये है कि झारखंड मुक्ति मोर्चा के विधायक दल के नेता चंपई सोरेन ने 45 विधायकों का समर्थन पत्र गवर्नर को दे दिया है और 80 विधायक है अभी फिलहाल झारखंड विधानसभा में। मेजॉरिटी मार्क के लिए आपको 41 विधायकों की ज़रूरत है। कल चंपई सोरेन ने गवर्नर राधाकृष्णन को ये कहा कि हम विधायकों की परेड भी करा सकते हैं, गवर्नर साहब ने मना कर दिया। और सबसे बड़ी बात कि दूसरे पक्ष बीजेपी ने अभी तक क्लेम नहीं किया है गवर्नमेंट बनाने के लिए, तो एक संवैधानिक संकट है। एक राज्य का मुख्यमंत्री जो गिरफ्तार हो चुका है और अभी बिना मुख्यमंत्री की ये राज्य है, ना ही प्रेसिडेंट रूल लगाया गया है। कायदे से अभी जो सरयू राय से हमारी बात हो रही थी, निर्दलीय विधायक हैं, वरिष्ठ विधायक हैं, भारतीय जनता पार्टी से भी ताल्लुक रखा है। उन्होंने लंबे समय तक उन्होंने आरोप लगाया कि संवैधानिक संकट है, गवर्नर साहब को इस पर जल्द से जल्द निर्णय लेना चाहिए। या तो राष्ट्रपति शासन लागू कर दिया जाए या विधायक का समर्थन पत्र है झारखंड मुक्ति मोर्चा के पास या बीजेपी के पास, तो दोनों में से किसी एक को बुलाकर जल्द से जल्द सरकार की गठन की प्रक्रिया शुरू होनी चाहिए। तो ये समझ से परे है कि आखिरकार देर किस बात की हो रही है। या तो बीजेपी के जो विधायक हैं, वो विधायक दल के नेता हैं, वो आकर स्टेक क्लेम करें। झारखंड मुक्ति मोर्चा ने ऑलरेडी स्टेक क्लेम कर दिया है, लेकिन बीजेपी पूरी राजनीतिक गतिविधि पर नजर बनाई हुई है। तैयारी ये चल रही है कि गेस्ट हाउस से विधायकों को कहीं दूसरे राज्य में ले जाया जाए, क्योंकि आशंका ये जताई जा रही है कि जेएमएम के कुछ विधायक बीजेपी के भी संपर्क में हो सकते हैं। लेकिन सबसे बड़ी बात यह है कि अगर बीजेपी के विधायक संपर्क में है भी तो संवैधानिक संकट की स्थिति उत्पन्न नहीं होनी चाहिए और झारखंड में एक संवैधानिक रूप से सरकार का गठन होना चाहिए। ये बड़ा सवाल है। विपक्ष ये जेएमएम के कई विधायक ये आरोप लगा रहे हैं, बीजेपी नज़र बनाई हुई है। अब देखना है कि आगे होता है क्या, क्योंकि सारे विधायक अभी वहाँ पर एक गेस्ट हाउस है रांची में, वहाँ पर सारे विधायक कैंप कर रहे हैं। 3-3 बसेस वहाँ पर आ गई हैं। संभवतः चार्टेड बसेस की भी बात हो रही कि विधायकों को राजनीतिक अस्थिरता के कारण, चूंकि गवर्नर ने अभी स्वेरिंग इन सेरेमनी का मौका नहीं दिया है किसी भी घटक दल को, तो उसको लेके ये विधायक हैदराबाद या बेंगलोर ले जाए जा सकते हैं और उसके बाद विधायकों को परेड कराया जाएगा, तस्वीरें जारी की जाएंगी कि हमारे पास कितने विधायक हैं। तो फिलहाल बीजेपी की भी नज़र, पैनी नज़र है पूरे राजनीतिक घटनाक्रम पर। बैक टू you.
All right, so right now Hemant Soren has been brought to the PMLA court. He has just arrived. Prakash is on ground getting us all the top details coming in right now, and hectic parlays, hectic developments coming in from Jharkhand viewers. Remember that Hemant Soren has been arrested, and this is the alleged land scam gripping Jharkhand politics. You know, it is an extremely important time right now. I just want to go back to Prakash, who is there. Prakash, we know Hemant Soren has just arrived at the PLMA court, and Republic was the first to get those visuals for all our viewers. If you could take our viewers through what Hemant Soren is also doing from his part. He has moved the Supreme Court challenging ED arrest in this case. Now, this matter will be heard tomorrow. Is that correct?
Well, yes, this matter will be heard tomorrow, anytime. And yesterday, Hemant Soren had filed a petition in the Ranchi High Court also. That is up for hearing again tomorrow. It has been listed for hearing tomorrow. We'll wait and watch what kind of judgment the High Court gives, because he has alleged that it's a malicious intent to arrest him because he is nowhere involved in the land scam. But it has been apparent that ED has been investigating both the mining scam and the land scam with substantial proof and documents that were recovered during the course of the raid from the premises of the registry office, as well as various other people. And the then DC of Ranchi, Chavi Ranjan, was also arrested, and he is in jail right now. And at whose because Chavi Ranjan acted on the influence of Hemant Soren. That's what the ED alleges. And yesterday, when all the proofs were shown to Hemant Soren, ED later in the evening told him that they are going to arrest him. And thereafter, he released a video statement saying that Hemant Soren, that ED is going to arrest me, and all the people of Jharkhand should stand solidly behind me. I am a son of a tribal leader. Shibu Soren will take this fight up with the BJP, and even if I go to jail, my party is solidly standing with me, and they have elected Champai Soren as the new leader of the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha. Back to you.
Right. Absolutely. Prakash is getting us all the details coming in outside the Ranchi court where Hemant Soren arrived at the PMLA court. And if you take our viewers through exactly what this alleged land scam is, now it's a very complex land scam where the case against Soren is revolving around his purported involvement in extensive land scam in Jharkhand, where he is allegedly the key beneficiary of illicitly obtained land through fraudulent means. Now, this is what the ED is saying. Prakash, if you could take our viewers through exactly what the ED is saying about the allegations against him. And it's a very sophisticated operation involving a network of brokers, businessmen who manipulated land records to create fake deeds, legal documents that transfer ownership of land or real estate from one party to another for valuable parcels of land. Very sophisticated investigation has also gone into it. Take us through the details coming in. Prakash.
Well, this plot of land was a government land, and apparently government land cannot be sold to private people on the outskirts of Ranchi. And in fact, 2 acres of land was sold at a throwaway price to a private businessman called Vishnu Agarwal, who was also sent to jail. Now we are told that he's been released on bail from jail. One officer called Chavi Ranjan is already serving a jail sentence. He's an IS officer and the then Deputy Commissioner of Ranchi, because he acted on the influence of Hemant Soren to get the plot of land registered, and there were several other people who were closely associated with Hemant Soren who were acting as middlemen and power broker, and they have also been under the scanner and they are also under arrest. And lastly, they, after substantial proof, after the arrest of all these people, they nailed down the Chief Minister of Jharkhand, Hemant Soren, taking him into custody. And yesterday he was arrested by the ED, taken to the ED office where he was interrogated again and kept at the ED office the whole night with his wife Kalpana Soren and son attending to him yesterday night for a brief period. So this is all about the case. There is another case in the mining scam in which a certain mining lease was allotted in his name despite being the Chief Minister of Jharkhand, which was in violation with the Office of Profit. And there was an investigation done by the ED in that particular case, and Hemant Soren had also deposed before the ED once in November 2022, and there was a set of questionnaires that were sent to Hemant Soren, which he had answered also then. But in that particular case also, there were several the acquaintances and associates of Hemant Soren who were arrested in that particular case. So this is not only, Hemant Soren is not only accused in the land scam, but he's also accused in the mining scam. But he's been arrested in the land scam as of now. So Jharkhand has been always involved and marred in corruption cases. Their political leaders ever since the Madhu Koda scam also broke out. Then Shibu Soren, while his father Shibu Soren, while being the central minister, was on the run for several months, and now Hemant Soren being sent to jail.
Right, Prakash, we'll come back to you in just a moment. Hectic parlays, a lot of action now to the Ranchi court. Taking a very short break right now for our viewers. Hemant Soren arriving at the PMLA court, and we'll be waiting and watching what would be happening next. Stay tuned to India's #1 news channel, Republic TV. This is Republic Niva Bupa Studios, your one-stop destination for all the breaking news updates, and I am Shivangi Shukla.
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studio, your one-stop for all the breaking news updates, and I am Nikita Sahai.
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studio, your one stop for all the breaking updates. I am Rakshita Mishra.
Viewers, well, I'm breaking, and let's go to the big story we are tracked from Jharkhand. Hemant Soren has right now arrived at the PMLA court, and I just want to go back to Prakash, who's joining us. Prakash is right outside the Ranchi court right now. Prakash, apart from us waiting for him to come out, Hemant Soren to come out, that will happen in just a short while. Take us through what our sources are telling about Jharkhand politics. We know that 35 of 48 MLAs are being shifted after 13 Indi MLAs are completely missing. They can't be reached at all. JMM has 29 MLAs, but 22 are present, and 17 Congress MLAs, only 11 are present. What exactly is happening when we talk about the numbers?
Well, Jharkhand has 80 MLAs at the moment, and JMM has claimed the support of 29 Jharkhand Mukti Morcha MLAs, 17 Congress MLAs, that comes to 46, 1 RJD 47, CPIML 1 48. And now the BJP on the other side have 26 MLAs, 3 AJSU, and 2 independents and 1 NCP. That comes to around 32. If you have to form a government at the moment, you require 41 MLAs in the House. So Jharkhand Mukti Morcha new leader Champai Soren has submitted a letter of support of 45 MLAs, and Jharkhand Mukti Morcha claims that all the MLAs are solidly behind them and they are intact. None of the Jharkhand Mukti Morcha MLAs or the Congress MLA have come out in the open on record saying that they want to have a breakaway faction. Even Sita Soren, who was supposed to be angry with the family over the appointment of Kalpana Soren, the wife of Hemant Soren, as the Chief Minister of Jharkhand, she's also said on record that she is going to side with the family in this hour of crisis, and she is solidly behind the JMM. Now the question is, only one formation, that the JMM, the new leader of JMM, Champai Soren, has staked a claim to form the government before the governor after the resignation of Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren. Now, there is a constitutional crisis in Jharkhand. Jharkhand is a headless government at the moment. There is no chief minister. What is the role of Hemant Soren once he is in custody? He is being produced. So it seems that the governor's role is very important at the moment. On the other hand, the BJP has not staked claim to form the government. So what is the governor waiting for? The governor is in the dock over here because since yesterday, I think a government should have informed, or the governor should have imposed a precedent rule here, because the state cannot go on functioning like this without a chief minister or without a government. Either invoke the precedent's rule, the governor gets in charge of the state of affairs in Jharkhand, or swear in a new government with one formation claiming that they have the support of government and they want to parade 45 MLAs. Since yesterday, the governor did not even allow them to parade all the 45 MLAs. So the question mark is now on the governor Radhakrishnan. And the BJP, on the other hand, have not yet staked a claim to form the government. If the BJP had staked a claim to form the government with the splinter group of the JMM, as it is being said that 13 MLAs have gone missing, then the state should come out of this constitutional crisis. So the governor should step in as soon as possible to save his image in this hour of political crisis in Jharkhand. And that is what the JMM leaders are alleging. And that is why the JMM is planning to fly all its MLAs to some other state to keep their flock together. But in the intervening period, since yesterday evening, ever since Hemant Soren has resigned until now, it's more than, say, 17, 18 hours have passed, and there is no chief minister in Jharkhand. So the governor should immediately address this issue. Either any bloc, either the BJP, even the BJP can stake a claim to form the government. The JMM had already staked a claim to form the government. They can parade the MLAs if they have the numbers and form a government in Jharkhand, either of the formations, whether it be the BJP or the JMM. It is very simple. Back to you.
Right, we're getting those details coming in right now. Also, Prakash, if you could take our viewers through what can we expect next now. Of course, Hemant Soren has just gone inside the court. How long do you really estimate that he'll be coming out?
In sometime soon, I believe that he's been produced and there are certain formalities that is being done there, and the evidence is being produced, and on the basis of that, the ED would be informing that we have arrested Hemant Soren on allegations and charges of land scam against him, and that they would pray for a remand of Hemant Soren, ED remand for Hemant Soren for at least 7 days, so that the investigation can go on with further interrogation of Hemant Soren in the ED office. Now, it remains to be seen whether Hemant Soren is kept in the ED office or in a separate camp jail, as it has happened, or is sent to the Hotwar jail. But first, I believe that the ED would demanding for a remand of Hemant Soren for further interrogation. And it will take another 15-20 minutes or 10 minutes, and Hemant Soren will again be taken to the ED office for further interrogation in this case. And maybe the ED would try to club all the cases together. The mining scam also, the interrogation would be expedited, because Hemant Soren have been evading summons after summons. He's been defiant and he's been alleging. But when you have ample proof and evidence, you cannot deny that he's not involved in corruption cases.
All right, taking a very short break right now, Prakash. Of course, this is the big story that we're tracking for all our viewers right now. A very short break. Soren arrested by the ED, produced at the PMLA court, and we have to wait and watch what will happen next. He will be produced in court right now. A very short break as things heat up in Jharkhand, and Republic keeps getting you top updates.
Niva Bupa Studio, your one stop for all the breaking news updates, and I am Nikita Sahai.
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studio, your one stop for all the breaking updates. I am Rakshita Mishra.
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studios, your one-stop destination for all the breaking news updates, and I am Shivangi Shukla.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
This is Republic Niva Bupa Studios, your one-stop destination for all the breaking news updates, and I am Shivangi Shukla. Viewers, we'll have a breaking of Shivangi Shukla getting you the latest, getting back-to-back updates coming in this afternoon. We'll get to you on top of all of them. But first, the headlines we are tracking right now. Prime Minister hails interim budget, calls it a historic and inclusive budget for a new India. From Mudra Yojana loans to a boost to private sector, the government puts the focus on women and the youth. No change in taxation or tax rates, but filing of tax returns to be made easier. Modi government announces interest-free loans for the next 50 years for private sector. Anger mounts against Congress and leader DK Suresh over one separate country remark. Hectic parleys in Ranchi as 13 MLAs miffed with Champai Soren going completely silent and missing. Other rush to resort now. All right, viewers, getting some big update coming in right now. Big update, visuals on your screen. Visuals on your screen of the puja being performed at the Gyanvapi complex. This comes a day after the Varanasi court granted permission to the Hindu side to offer prayers inside the complex. The prayers have resumed at the complex after a wait of 31 years. All right, being joined right now by Vishnu Shankar Jain joining us right now on the phone line. Your first reaction coming in. We are seeing that after the Varanasi court allowed Hindu devotees to offer prayers. We are seeing the first visuals coming in. Your reaction?
That puja is started in the Taikhana of Vyas Parivar. Let me tell you that this puja used to happen till November 1993. It is only after November 1993 this puja was stopped in violation of the Places of Worship Act. So we welcome the order passed by the District Court of Varanasi, and we also appreciate the efforts of the state government in implementing the orders passed by the District Court Varanasi.
Right. Also, you are the lawyer from the Hindu side, Vishnu Shankar Jain. Also, if you could take our viewers through, exactly the process that was followed. It's a very long process for this day to come. Just take us through about all the hard work which has gone behind what we see right now, Hindu prayers at Gyanvapi after 31 whole years.
Definitely, there has been a lot of hard work in past 10-15 years to get to restore our rights which have been taken away in the past. We will definitely talk about it in detail some other time. But definitely, lot of hard work, time, effort, energy, intellectual exercise, physical exercise, all these setbacks and everything we have seen in this litigation. So I'm very happy that after a long legal journey, today we have achieved what we were looking for from past so many years.
Right. And also, if you could take our viewers through exactly about the history of this. Now, apparently, now if you could also confirm this, Hindus used to worship there till 1993, but in November 1993, Vishnu Shankar Jain, the then government had banned worship there. So if we take our viewers through the little timeline, because we know there's a timeline behind this. Also, you are saying that you have said earlier as well, speaking to a news agency, that one state government had misused their powers. If you could just take our viewers through exactly what that timeline is looking like.
I'll tell you in detail that from time immemorial, this Vyas Parivar, which is also known as Shibayat of Adi Visheshwar or the Pujari of Adi Visheshwar, this place, this visual which you are seeing, is the original seat of Vyas Parivar, where they used to do puja, part and daily rituals of the deity. Now this Vyas Gaddi, this Vyas seat was existing from time immemorial, and whatever I am saying on your channel, there are court orders to prove that they were in possession of this property. Not just oral assertion or verbal averments. There are court orders to prove that they were in possession of this property, and it is only in November 1993, in violation of Section 3 of the Places of Worship Act, they were thrown out from this property in question.
All right. Thank you so much, Vishnu Shankar Jain, Hindu side lawyer, for joining us here. Remember that we are seeing the prayers after the Varanasi court order. The Varanasi district judge directed the district administration to make appropriate arrangements for Hindus to conduct worshipping rituals inside one of the seal cellars. And not just that, viewers, worship at the spot was stopped in the year 1993. And what you see on your screen, viewers, are the visuals of the puja being performed at the Gyanvapi complex. This comes a day after the Varanasi court granted permission to the Hindu side to offer prayers inside the complex. Let's go straight to VHP's Vinod Bansal, who's joining us on the phone line. Your first reaction coming in after 31 whole years. Prayers have resumed at the complex, and all our viewers are seeing this visual first and exclusive on Republic TV. Vinod Bansal ji.
निश्चित रूप से देखिए, ये बहुत बड़ा हर्ष का विषय है, संतोष का विषय है और लोगों के अनवरत संघर्ष का एक परिणाम है। 31 साल बाद हमें हमारे आराध्य देव की पूजा सेवा का अवसर मिल रहा है। आप देखिए कि ये अनाधिकृत रूप से हिंदू समाज को ही इस तरह से ये अपमान को झेलना पड़ रहा है। दुनिया में कोई भी एक समुदाय बता दीजिए, कोई भी देश बता दीजिए जहां पर कि बहुसंख्यक समुदाय को, वहां के तथाकथित अल्पसंख्यक समुदायों को खुश करने के लिए सरकारें जो है उनकी पूजा अर्चना को रोकती हो। आप देखिए, हमने कभी ये नहीं कहा कि इसको तोड़ दो, कि इसको बना दो, कि हमें ये जगह दे दो, वो जगह दे दो। हमने सिर्फ ये कहा कि हमें तो पूजा अर्चना करनी है। और देखिए, पूजा अर्चना तो हिंदू समाज की वैसे भी सर्वभवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामया की धारणा को लेकर होती है। हम तो वसुधैव कुटुम्बकम और विश्व कल्याण की बात भगवान से मांगते हैं।
तो वो उनसे भी हमें वंचित रखा गया। ये जो मुस्लिम तुष्टीकरण की नीति में जो डूबी हुई सरकारें थी, उन्होंने हमें पूजा अर्चना से भी वंचित रखा। ये बेहद दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण बात थी। मैं धन्यवाद दूंगा माननीय न्यायालय का भी, और साथ में जो व्यवस्था है वहाँ के स्थानीय प्रशासन का भी, जिनके कारण जो है अभी ये पूजा अर्चना तुरंत संभव हो सकी। कल आप देखिए कि दोपहर में निर्णय आया और रात्रि में पूजा अर्चना प्रारंभ हो गई। ये कोई एक मतलब अलर्ट प्रशासन ही कर सकता है, अन्यथा तो लगता था कि पूजा अर्चना ये हो जाएगा कि वो हो जाएगा। तो वो सब चीजें अब जो है वो समाज में पुरानी बातें हो गई कि अगर ऐसा हुआ तो ऐसा हो जाएगा। आप देखिए शांतिपूर्ण ढंग से पूजा अर्चना भी प्रारंभ हो गई, लोगों को दर्शन भी मिलने लग गए और आराम से व्यवस्थित तरीके से सारी चीजें चलने भी लगी। अभी ये जो है शासन प्रशासन की जो एक स्ट्रांग स्थिति और एक अच्छी न्याय व्यवस्था का ही परिचायक है। इसमें मैं तो साधुवाद दूंगा हमारे माननीय न्यायालय को और वहाँ के स्थानीय प्रशासन को, जिनके कारण ये सब चीजें संभव हो पाई है। और आप देखिए काशी विश्वनाथ के मंदिर में जो जहाँ नंदी विराजमान है, उनके सामने ही देवादिदेव महादेव है। उन महादेव को जो है हमसे दूर रखा गया कि 93 तक पूजा होती थी। मजे की बात है, देखिए 90 में निहत्थे कारसेवक को मरवाने का श्रेय जिस मुख्यमंत्री को जाता है, जिस सरकार को जाता है, उसी सरकार ने हमारी जो आराध्य देव भगवान है उनको पूजा से हमें वंचित किया गया। और मजे की बात है, कोई ऑर्डर नहीं, कोई नोटिफिकेशन नहीं, लेकिन जबरदस्ती हमें डंडा देकर के भगा दिया गया। और वहाँ पर न सिर्फ भगवान शिव की, बल्कि हमें जो माता की जो पूजा थी, श्रृंगार गौरी की पूजा से भी हमें वंचित रखा गया। तो ये जो है लगातार हिंदू समाज को अपमान झेलना पड़ा, तिरस्कार झेलना पड़ा, अनेक लोगों को डंडे गोलियां खानी पड़ी। लेकिन उसके बाद भी एक संतोष की बात यह है कि 31 साल बाद ही सही, कम से कम हमें ये पूजा का अधिकार मिला।
All right, thank you so much for joining us, Vinod Bansal, VHP spokesperson, for joining us here as we show you visuals of the puja being performed at the Gyanvapi complex. This comes a day after Varanasi court granted permission to Hindu side to offer prayers inside the complex. Let's move ahead to the other breaking news we're getting for you right now. More breaking news coming in. More breaking news coming in. Congress leader DK Suresh has now stoked a fresh controversy with separate country demand. He has now said that the language Hindi is being imposed and therefore they demand a separate country. So that is what we are seeing right now. A big update coming in where we are seeing that DK Suresh, Congress leader, has made a very controversial comment at this time, and he has said need a separate country. Need a separate country. Let's go ahead, viewers, and play out exactly what that statement says. DK Suresh.
ಉತ್ತರ ಭಾರತದ ಕಡೆ ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಹಂಚ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಚಾರಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಖಂಡಿಸಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಕ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಬೇಡಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಇಡಬೇಕಾದಂಥ ಅನಿವಾರ್ಯ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಹಿಂದಿ ಪ್ರದೇಶದವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೇರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾನು ಭಾವಿಸ್ತೀನಿ. ಉತ್ತರ ಭಾರತದ ಕಡೆ ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡೋಗಿ ಹಂಚ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಕಾಣ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇವೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ವಿಚಾರಗಳಲ್ಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅನ್ಯಾಯ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಾವು ಅದನ್ನು ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಖಂಡಿಸಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಕ ರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಕೂ ಕೂಡ ನಾವು ಬೇಡಿಕೆಯನ್ನು ಇಡಬೇಕಾದಂಥ ಅನಿವಾರ್ಯ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಹಿಂದಿ ಪ್ರದೇಶದವರು ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೇರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಾನು ಭಾವಿಸ್ತೀನಿ.
All right, let's go straight to Prajwal, my colleague who's joining us right now. Prajwal, if you could take our viewers through exactly what this statement is all about. A fresh controversy, and he said Hindi is being imposed and therefore they demand a separate country. A very provocative statement coming out. Prajwal.
You know, Shivangi, in fact, this has nothing to do with Hindi language here. He's in fact speaking about the budget as well, the interim budget which was presented by the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. He states that all the tax, all the wealth is now being taken in from South India, from Karnataka, and it is basically being given to those regions in the Hindi heartland as well. So why is this government giving more to North India when their contribution towards the tax, towards the total GDP of the country is less? So he's spoken in that particular context. He's also gone ahead and stated that all the tax which is now being given by all the from across the nation is being diverted only to a particular few regions in the in the Hindi heartland, and this is basically an injustice which is now being meted out to the people in the other regions of the country. And if this is not condemned in the coming days, then we will have to go ahead and demand a separate nation, is the demand of the Congress MP D.K. Suresh from Bengaluru rural. So therefore all of this is come into context with the budget being presented as well, because the Congress is slamming it, stating that there was absolutely no vision or anything. And in this particular regard, the MP has gone off to make a controversial statement demanding a separate nation because states down south are being meted out with injustice.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us there with all the details coming in. We are seeing that there is a remark which has been made right now by D.K. Suresh, where he's saying that he's demanding a separate country, he's saying Hindi is being imposed, and therefore they demand a separate country. In fact, let's move ahead right now, but we are tracking all the developments coming in. Let's move ahead to the other stories we're tracking at this point of time. And we are seeing, viewers, that after the statement has been made, we are seeing that Congress's D.K. Suresh has made one more very, very divisive remark and has made a demand for a separate country. Let's move ahead right now and look at these reactions coming in. Remember that Nirmala Sitharaman has presented the budget. Let's have a look at the reactions.
एक ऐतिहासिक बजट है जो पूर्ण रूप से परिलक्षित करता है कि प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के नेतृत्व में जो भारत में एक नई क्रांति और परिवर्तन पिछले एक दशक में आई है, एक विकसित भारत का लक्ष्य, एक आत्मनिर्भर भारत का लक्ष्य, एक विश्व गुरु बनने का लक्ष्य, उन तीनों लक्ष्यों के प्रति पूर्ण श्रद्धा के साथ और गति के साथ भारत बढ़ चुका है।
मैं आश्वस्त हूं इस इंटरिम बजट के कारण ही जो भी इंडिकेशन इस बजट से मिले हैं कि हमारी इकोनॉमी जो आज दुनिया की टाइप 5 कंट्रीज में है, उसकी साइज बढ़कर 2027 तक मोर देन $5 ट्रिलियन जाएगी और 2030 आते आते मोर देन $7 ट्रिलियन तक पहुंचेगी।
इंटरिम बजट है और निर्मला जी ने कह भी दिया कि फुल बजट हम अपना पेश करेंगे, तो अपना बजट जो है वो एक सीक्वेंस में चल रहा है और वो सीक्वेंस है कि पिछले 10 सालों में सीढ़ी दर सीढ़ी हम लोग ऊपर चढ़ रहे हैं, चाहे वो युवा हो, चाहे वल्नरेबल सेक्शंस हो समाज के, चाहे महिलाएं हो, चाहे किसान हो, हर एक के लिए हमने लगातार काम किया है और वो इस बजट में रिफ्लेक्ट हो रहा है।
टैक्स में कोई बदलाव नहीं है तो लोगों को लाभ तो मिल ही रहा है। लोग बाग जो सोचते रहते हैं कि टैक्स के अंदर बदलाव आएगा, और हर चीज़ के बाद उसमें आप देखेंगे कि किस तरीके से अर्थव्यवस्था को और मजबूत किया जाए और टैक्स पेयर के लिए और क्या सुविधाएं की जाए, इसके बारे में बताई गई है।